The first time I heard this quote, I laughed out loud. It's from Bonnie Edelstein, and she said this: a group is a bunch of people in an elevator. A team is a bunch of people in an elevator, but the elevator is broken. And I just thought that was hilarious, just picturing a bunch of people in an elevator. Nothing's really happening. They're not even talking to each other. But a bunch of people in an elevator and the elevator breaks. Suddenly there's going to be action. So let's talk a little bit about what does that mean in the early stages of teaming? How do we bring that together? When a team is just formed, we call it the forming stage, quite obviously from Tuckman's model of forming, storming, norming, performing. So how do we take the forming team through to storming with minimal negative impact? That's really the key that we're talking about here. Minimizing the negative impact of the storming stage. In fact, leveraging that impact. And the way that we do that, the way we set people up for a smoother and yet important transition from forming to storming, is by putting all the fundamentals in place up front. And those fundamentals mean, firstly, who have we got here? Let's get to know each other a bit. What are the resources? What are the experiences? What does each person want to bring to the team? But how do we do that if we haven't first done purpose? Because what each person wants to offer to the team surely is what they want to offer to the purpose of the team. And so, purpose is actually the most fundamental. Can we establish a team purpose? And this is not something that we dictate as the leader. This is something that we together decide on. Because those that plan the battle rarely battle the plan. And so we really want to have a joint purpose statement that we all buy into and say, yes, that's it. I'm committing to that. I will help us achieve that. And then the third part is the how. How do we want to be together? How do we want to function? How are we going to handle conflict? How are we going to handle decision making? How are we going to handle accountability, holding each other accountable? So when we put those three things beautifully in place, the why, which is the purpose, but built with that, a whole lot of who around that, so that everybody can commit and understand who we've got towards that purpose and what each person's going to be doing. And then, how do we need to be together to make that fly? That, to me, is the key of getting people together so that when the storming happens, we already have the ground rules to handle the storming. And in next week's one, we're going to talk about how do we move from storming to norming, and we'll examine that also in 3 parts. If you like this video, why not hit subscribe? That way you can regularly get conscious leadership updates in your YouTube feed.